Hundreds of fires are currently burning through the Paraná Delta region, an important wetland ecosystem that hosts a range of wildlife in Argentina. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we begin with a shocking case that happened here in Argentina that endangered more than just our ecosystem. We begin tonight with Pilar Medrano, our investigator.
Paraná Delta is located between Entre Rios and Buenos Aires, on the Paraná River. Here, more than 50 different species of mammals, 260 species of birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians.
The fire causing the Paraná Delta had devastated so far 300,000 hectares long. For you to imagine better the magnitude this number represents, Puerto del Lago, including the lakes and the private neighborhoods, is only 1,400 hectares long. So this is equal to Puerto del Lago being devastated and on fire 214 times.
In 2020, over 3,700 potential fire sources were detected by satellite data in the Paraná Delta. Like other environmental and political conflicts, the indiscriminate burning on grasslands without planning exposed the lack of collective discussion on the criteria for the use of the territory.
As a result of this disaster, the biodiversity of the wetland has been severely damaged, and countless native species of flora and fauna have been devastated. This graphic shows which part of the total is the one that was devastated by 2020. The area devastated was about 15.5% or 300,000 hectares, while the unaffected area was 1.63 million hectares.
The Delta system, which spans 19,300 square kilometers in eastern Argentina, is in the network of islands, streams, lagoons, marshlands, grasslands, and forests that crisscross the Paraná River, the second largest river in South America. The Paraná Delta also plays an important role in regulating water and sequestering carbon, according to experts.
Paraná River is also experiencing extremely low water levels due to a regional drought, although experts say an exact climatic reason for the drought has yet to be determined. It is important that water levels are regular, as if not, the wetland cannot fulfill its famous function of sponge, which purifies and filters the water, precisely because there is no water to cover it.
Although most fires have been deliberately lit by people, they are raging out of control right now. This is due to drought, lack of rainfall, and low river levels. The environmental damage caused on the islands is very difficult to quantify, but according to some experts, it will take years to recover. When we speak to the Paraná Delta, we refer to a flat area composed 80% by earths and only 4% of native forests.
Likewise, these wetlands have at least 700 species of plants, more than 50 types of mammals, 260 types of birds, 300 types of fishes, 30 types of reptiles, and an uncountable variety of invertebrates. It is a large ecosystem with humans endangered.
Turning the island is a graveyard of burnt animals. The soil of the wetland has been reduced to ashes, and this will eventually affect the potability of the water that Rosario City consumes. To sum up before we leave, the Paraná Delta is on fire. The islands are a graveyard of burnt animals. The soil of the wetland has been reduced to ashes, and this will affect the water potability that Rosario consumes. Apart from the obvious consequences that are the loss of ecosystem and fauna, this fire has caused respiratory disorders in nearby city inhabitants, and will continue to do so. That is the PJ News this Friday. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Have a great day. Wetlands are very important to regulate the flow and quality of water. During rainy seasons, they retain water, preventing large floods, and in times of drought, they serve as an ideal reservoir for water to flow where it's most needed. Today, the level of waters are very low compared to world records. This means there's less water, and the wetland is now a fragile and delicate system.
So as there is not so much water, many producers not at all take the opportunity to expand production areas and burn grasslands, creating a serious danger to the delta ecosystem, a place where fires easily could get out of control.
The 2008 event had such magnitude that many claim being unable to even see or breathe due to the heavy amount of smoke and ashes.
These fires, which are more widespread and prolonged and have been happening at least since 2008, have already devastated about 1,000 square kilometers of territory and extend along a system of islands, lagoons, streams, which affect the flora and fauna, soil, water, and air of the region.
If fire continues growing at this rate, it is speculated that by 2022, fires will devastate more than 500,000 hectares.
This year, the worst drought in 10 years and a river downspout never seen in more than 60 created an ideal scenario for the multiplication of fires, a tool that is often used as a method to clean the land by livestock producers to allow the determination of new pastures that's mainly used to feed the livestock itself. It is clear that this delta urgently needs our protection, as they are seriously threatened by the agricultural and real estate industry.
It's important to know that wetlands are fundamental in the climate fight, that they not only prevent floods, but they mitigate the effect of droughts and play an essential role as regulator of the climate, and are of course home for hundreds of species of animals and plants. Livestock and the entire agro-productive model that has been carried out for more than 20 years on the islands right now is what led us to this economical, social, energetical and climatic collapse in which we find ourselves today. The minister recalled that putting off this fire, costs more than $20 million per day.
Justice of Ontario has jurisdiction over the islands. A dozen criminal cases were opened in the Federal Justice of Paraná, and 18 people were charged with the allegedly intentional fires, but none of them have been detained. The historical abandonment of the territory by the governments promoted the changes in land use introduced by the cattle ranching of the islands, which partly abandoned the rich pampas plain for the islands of the delta, pushed by the shift of the agricultural frontier that generated the boom of soybean prices of 2005.
Moreover, industrial fishing, real estate developments, poaching, and lack of training in fire management in a context of drought and historical downspout generated in a few months environmental disaster rarely seen in these areas. In addition to the destruction of nature, smoke from fire caused coastal cities such as Rosario, San Nicolas, or San Lorenzo to have days in which the air pollution levels get up to 5 times above what is allowed, according to studies published by the National University of Rosario.
On the other hand, the fire that reappears almost every day on the islands of Rosario is not only causing an ecocide in this area, with the death of animals and destruction of the native flora, but the city was enveloped in a gigantic cloud of smoke that reached 60 kilometers long, which caused respiratory disorders in the inhabitants in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mentioning the COVID pandemic, Laura Prol is also frustrated as it makes it almost impossible to see the terrain firsthand.
We can go, but cattle ranches, tourists, and illegal hunters still get there.
To sum up before we leave, the Paraná Delta is on fire right now. The islands are a graveyard of bird animals. The soil of the wetland has been reduced to ashes, and this will even affect the potability of the water that Rosario consumes. The expansion of fire is caused by unregulated expansion of cattle ranching, and apart from the obvious consequences that are the loss of ecosystem and fauna, the fire has caused respiratory disorders in nearly city inhabitants and will continue to do so. This is TPJ News this Wednesday. Thank you for watching. I'm Pilar Medrano. Stay safe. Have a great day.